Welcome to the Rockabye Revenue Podcast with me, Abby Watson. I'm a mum of 4 and a business strategist, and I train people to become hypnobirthing teachers. In the last decade, I've built a thriving baby business that grew beyond my wildest dreams. This podcast is for you if you run a business or dream of running a business in the birth and baby industry. You want to change lives whilst making more money. I'm talking about creating sustainable income whilst being present for the people that matter most. I believe for our baby businesses to have the impact we desire, we must be rewarded. On this podcast, expect me to share actionable strategies without the jargon. I've been where you are. I've built a business while raising 4 little ones, and now I'm here to help you turn your passion into profit while creating the life you've always dreamed of. So let's get started. Welcome to the Rockabye Revenue Podcast with me, Abby Watson. I'm a mum of 4 and a business strategist, and I train people to become hypnobirthing teachers. In the last decade, I've built a thriving baby business that grew beyond my wildest dreams. This podcast is for you if you run a business or dream of running a business in the birth and baby industry. You want to change lives whilst making more money. I'm talking about creating sustainable income whilst being present for the people that matter most. I believe for our baby businesses to have the impact we desire, we must be rewarded. On this podcast, expect me to share actionable strategies without the jargon. I've been where you are. I've built a business while raising 4 little ones, and now I'm here to help you turn your passion into profit while creating the life you've always dreamed of. So let's get started. Hello. Welcome to an episode of Rockabye Revenue Podcast. I am here today to talk about something that I know will matter to you. Okay, we're talking how to make more profit in your birth and baby business. Okay, now hear me when I say profit. We are not just talking about getting more money through the door. We're talking about the bit that you actually keep. Because let's face it, that's the important bit. You know, the bit that you take home, the bit that impacts your life, that's the important bit. Okay. Now, we're not going to focus on getting more clients. And I tell you why. Because if I talk to you here today about getting more clients, it adds a whole new level of work, a whole new level of stress. I want to show you how you can take what you're already doing and take more money home from it. So are we ready to get started? Now, I want to firstly take you back a couple of years ago when I was mentoring someone that I absolutely loved working with. She was a hypnobirthing teacher, and she was having, on paper, so much success in her business. She was filling out courses, her diary was full, it was fab. However, she didn't feel like she was bringing home much money. She felt like she was doing all the work, busy as a bee, and actually not really getting the financial reward for it. What does that mean? Well, ultimately, long term, that situation leads to burnout, and it leads to always feeling resentful of your business, resentful of your clients, and that leads to an unsustainable business. And when we are the helpers of the world, like we are, those people who need our services deserve us to be in this for the long game. They deserve us to be still running our business a year down the line, 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line. And we deserve that too. So this is why I'm talking about profit today. I want your business to be sustainable. Yes, I want you to have impact, to change people's lives, to support them, to be that person that they need so much. But I also want you to be able to do this because it's doing what you need it to do. Perhaps you went into your business because you wanted freedom to work around your family. Perhaps you needed it to be an alternative income source away from your day job. If that's you, you need your business to make profit. So let's get started. Okay. Number one thing to do to boost your profit, I want you to have a pricing review. This is particularly relevant if you have been running your business a year or more. Certainly, if you have been in this a good few years, you need to be reviewing your pricing. Think about it. If you were in a regular job, your salary would increase year on year, and on average in the UK, it'd increase by about 4%. Okay. Now let's think about that in terms of your baby business. Now, if you offer a course and it's £200, okay, adding £10 to that a year would be really similar to that increase in salary. Yet we can feel so icky about that. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen if I increase my prices? Are my sales going to go down? Am I suddenly not going to be able to get bookings? We make it such a big deal. And do you know what? I've been there. You know, when I look back on my early years of running a hypnobirthing business, I stayed with the same prices for a very long time. Why was that? Well, I felt like, oh my gosh, things are going well. Don't change it. Don't touch what's, going well for you. You don't want to spoil it. So I was scared. I was scared of what other people might think. Oh, just put our prices up. But the reality was, in my business as a hypnobirthing teacher, I wasn't that often teaching repeat clients. So in actual fact, I wasn't having to explain my price increases to anyone. So in actual fact, it was pretty easy to put up my prices. Now that might be different to you. You might teach baby classes and actually you have the same clients coming term on term, so they'll notice a price increase. But my goodness, let's face it, whenever we are buying things, we don't expect the price to stay the same all the time. And remember what I was saying at the start of this episode. These things need to be done to make your business sustainable. Your clients need that too. They want you to still be doing this. If they are your raving fans, my goodness, are they going to question a price increase? Probably not. Now, I talked about there increasing your prices, like considering that salaries increase every year, okay? But also think about, where did I even get this price from? Was it when I was starting out and I looked at the types of prices that other people were charging and just kind of went with that? Because if that's the case, you are definitely due a pricing review. And if you increase your pricing, you might be surprised that your booking numbers stay the same. What will be the result? Well, you'll receive more money for what you are already doing. That will absolutely impact your profit. Second thing I want to talk about here, I want to talk about add-ons. Now, let's go back down memory lane. When I was in sixth form at school, I had a part-time job. I had many part-time jobs, to be honest. I didn't seem to stick with them very long. My first part-time job was in Morrison's supermarket in the salad bar, chopping up tomatoes. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. My second part-time job was in Claire's Accessories. Okay, do you know Claire's Accessories? It's still exactly the same as when I was 16. The products are the same, the store is the same. That's where I worked on a Saturday. And Claire's Accessories obviously sells like jewellery, hair accessories, like random like notebooks, stuff like that. Stuff that my 10-year-old daughter absolutely lives for. That was my job working there. Now, when I worked at Claire's Accessories, they were really focused on sales, getting money through the till. I don't think I've ever had another job in retail that was that much focused on targets. And one of the things that they used to give you targets for as a shop assistant was how many add-ons you were getting customers to buy. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm talking about your customer coming to the till with whatever they've purchased, and then you offering them something else on top. And if they bought an add-on, that would be like tallied up. Okay, and you could potentially win prizes for selling many add-ons. And if you go down to Claire's Accessories, I'm sure that even happens today. Okay, so we're talking about selling things to people that were already buying from you or already customers. Now think about how you could do that in your baby business. So if I think about my decade being a hypnobirthing teacher, okay, there were several ways that I did do this or could have done this, okay. I certainly could have done more of this for sure. And I'm sure you could probably do more of this too. Now, as a hypnobirthing teacher, often my clients would come to me for a group hypnobirthing course or a one-to-one, okay. Add-ons I could have offered, I could have created an audio track for postpartum, for that postnatal time where they want to take some time out, maybe whilst they're feeding their baby, but they've loved the tracks in pregnancy. So how likely would they have been to purchase that track after they'd done their hypnobirthing course? Ways that I did offer add-ons, well, I used to run pregnancy relaxation, and as much as I offered them to people outside of my courses, I absolutely did offer them to people that had already done hypnobirthing as a way of them practicing their tools and techniques every week, as a way of them having that continuous contact from me. And I tell you what, a lot of the bums on the seats there were people that had done hypnobirthing. So it really shows you that add-ons really do work. People that have already purchased things from us, people that are already customers, studies have shown that they are 76% more likely to buy again. Because these are people that know and trust you. And no doubt with the wonderful things that you offer, they love what you do. So you offering something else is not cheeky. It's not awkward. It's actually giving them something that they really probably want. Thinking again about my hypnobirthing business, and if you're a hypnobirthing teacher, this absolutely might apply to you too. Do you offer refresher sessions to your past clients that are having another baby? Maybe you do offer refresher sessions, but do your past clients know about that? Are you letting them know at the end of the course when they go? Are you saying, oh, I'll see you back in a couple of years for a refresher? Are you talking about it on your social media? Are you letting people know that you offer this extra thing? Now, if you're a baby massage teacher, for example, do you offer courses and classes for the mums that you work with when their babies are a bit older? Maybe you do, but are you clearly making those offers? Going back to my days at Claire's Accessories, when people used to come to the till to purchase their hair clips, whatever it was, I'd have to pick one of the items that we had as our designated add-ons, and I would have to promote it to them. So I'd be like, oh, have you seen, let's say it's bobbles, have you seen these hair bobbles? They're at this really great price at the moment. Because these add-ons usually would be at a discount. These were people that were at the till ready to pay, and I was telling them about something else. It really is as easy as that. So really think about your offerings and really think about those things that can continue your client's experience with you. Are you making it clear? Are you calling upon your customers to buy other things that will absolutely benefit them? Now, I know some of you offer many services. So perhaps you're an antenatal educator, but you also offer sleep consultancy. Do the people that are coming to your antenatal classes really understand your sleep services? Do they really understand how they're going to benefit them? Are you revisiting those people when they're in that time in their life that they might need those services? Are you reaching out? Are you continuing those relationships? Because that's how you're going to sell extra services to your existing customer bases. And like I said, it's a much easier sell than trying to get new customers all the time. The third thing that I want to talk about here is really reviewing your expenses. Really thinking about where you are letting your money go out of the door. Okay. So every business, whatever you do in your business, has expenses. Now, I've got to admit, as a tight Yorkshire person, I loved the fact that I could run my hypnobirthing business very lean. For goodness sake, I even used my living room for some of my group courses because I didn't want to pay venue hire. Now, I'm not here to tell you to not hire a venue. Actually, many of our expenses really add to our brand, and some of our expenses can actually help us create more income. So it'd be silly and really counterintuitive to cut costs in the things that are really important to actually attract more clients. Okay, so in that bracket, I would probably put a great venue, Perhaps it adds to the wonderful experience that you provide. I'd put most likely a great website. Certainly, if your clients are finding you through your website, that's an excellent investment, I'd even put in that camp things like PayPal fees, booking fees that you might pay to an external place like Ticket Tailor. I know it feels really like, oh my gosh, that bit of percentage has come off, that should be my money. But actually, you using things like PayPal, Ticket Tailor, Stripe, you using technology like that is likely to mean that you get more clients because ultimately you are making it easy for them to take the plunge. So I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is actually looking at where your money is going back out. 2 years into my hypnobirthing business, I had the most incredible year. Money was really coming into my bank. at a rapid rate, and quite honestly, I felt like I was living the dream. I felt like I'd made it. I couldn't believe that my 2 group courses that I was running at the time were filling with ease. I was having deposits made whilst I was sleeping on Ticket Tailor. It was fab. Now, when I got to the end of that year and I did my accounts, and of course, I blimmin' left it to the last minute. Don't do an Abby there. I left my accounts to the last minute, and there I was doing my accounts. I'd made a great deal of money that year. I was absolutely, making more than I had in my previous career as a secondary school teacher. However, what shocked me was the amount of outgoings I had. I really felt like I was running a lean business. If anybody had have asked me what my outgoings were, I'd have said, my venue hire for my Leeds course. And I'd have said, books and resources and Ticket Tailor fees. That's what I'd have said. And I was actually missing a lot of other outgoings that were going out of my bank really regularly. And I wasn't seeing that I could have actually pulled back, meaning I'd have been keeping more of the revenue, the money coming into my business. So what was I leaking money on? Where was this money going? What was it disappearing to? That when I actually look back, I think, I could have absolutely reined that in. So firstly, money was going out to fees to the company that I did training with as a hypnobirthing teacher. I was 2 years into my business. I wasn't using any of their resources. I wasn't, using the Facebook group that actually I didn't find useful at all. But I was paying this yearly fee. That was one of the leaks that I absolutely did not need to do. Why did I stay with that fee? Because I was nervous. I was nervous of change. I was nervous of coming away from it. Okay. So that was one way money was leaking from my business. Another thing, and oh my gosh, I was an absolute devil for this. I was spending so much on gifts for my clients. I was buying them packs of affirmation cards that I was not making myself. So each client, I'd buy this pack of affirmation cards that I'd buy in bulk, but it was still costing me like £7.50 a pack. I was buying resources for them, which absolutely was necessary. I wanted to give them a workbook, absolutely. Okay. But I was also buying them loads of battery-operated candles, lavender bags. I was sometimes even buying them essential oils. I was going into the range and thinking, what can I throw into these goodie bags? Now, I am someone that really believes we should give our clients a fantastic experience on our courses. And sometimes what we give them to take away is all part of that experience. Okay. So I'm not saying do not ever give your clients gifts, things from the course. I'm not saying that. Really think about how much of this is necessary. And where is this feeling that you must give loads and loads of gifts, loads and loads of stuff to your clients coming from? Because I tell you what, this for me was absolutely coming from a place of feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm doing so well in my business. I don't want to upset anyone. I want to make sure they're not disappointed. So I'll just give them loads of stuff, That money that they're giving me for the course, it'll be worth it if I give them 8 battery-operated tea lights. Can you see how ridiculous that sounds? Where are you also doing that? Spending on your clients, over-giving because you feel like it'll only be valuable if I do that. Now, your overgiving might not even be with stuff, you know? It might even be with a refund if they couldn't attend one of the sessions that they signed up to. Yeah? You might feel like, oh my gosh, they couldn't attend. That wasn't their fault. So I'm going to refund them. I want them to be happy. I don't want them to think bad of me. But you're constantly paying out to people when in reality, that will happen. And perhaps you need some kind of terms and conditions that clearly outline that there won't be refunds for individual sessions, except maybe in these circumstances. And no doubt those circumstances are when it's cancelled by you, not them. You might be overgiving because you're giving loads and loads of your time. You're saying that the class is an hour and actually you're going on for an hour and 40 minutes. You're not able to put 2 classes on that day because actually you're overgiving with your time. And no wonder you're feeling like you can never expand your business. Now, I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this loud and clear. You are the gift. You are the thing that your client is paying for. Not the battery-operated tea lights, not you going above and beyond for hours after sessions. They're paying for what you offer because what you offer is enough and you are enough. I really hope you heard that loud and clear. You are enough. What you offer is enough. You don't need to be overgiving. So really take a moment, well, more than a moment actually, really take some time to review what is going out of your business. On this note, I know this is absolutely true for a lot of people. And going back to that year when my expenses were far higher than I ever thought. To put this in context, my expenses were nearly £10,000, ultimately nearly £1,000 a month. When I thought they were a couple of £100 a month. You know, they were substantially more than I thought. And it was these small things that added up. I tell you what else was part of the outgoings. Part of the outgoings were courses that I was buying. Money was coming into my business, so I was feeling flush and I was thinking, oh, I'm going to now invest it in a course to learn about something. Now, there are some courses that I'd absolutely never regret spending on. And actually, some courses that have helped me generate more income in my business. However, there are more courses than that I haven't even opened. There are courses that I joined because of FOMO, because I felt like, oh, there might be something that all my competitors are hearing about and I won't know about it, so I better do it. There's even one-to-one mentoring that I know that I invested in at a time when actually that wasn't probably where I needed support, you know? Actually, maybe the support I needed was more in the admin side of my business. I knew what I should be doing. I just didn't have the time, you know? Now, that is not a dig at coaches and mentors. I am absolutely someone who really values having a coach or a mentor or a strategist working within your business. Absolutely. And I have made some incredibly powerful investments in that. But I also know that certain points in my business, I felt like it was going to be this quick fix, this thing that was going to, suddenly make me feel so much better in my business and make me be able to handle everything. But actually, it wasn't probably the right investment. So really think about the money going out. The money going out is as important as the money coming in, Because if you are spending a lot, you are not going to be keeping a lot. You are not going to be generating that profit that does impact your life, that does make this sustainable. So there we have it. My top tips for generating more profit without the stress. Now, if you've enjoyed this episode, do hit subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. And do leave me a review. Leave me a 5-star review. It literally makes me and my children do a happy dance. See you next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to Rockabye Revenue. I hope this episode has left you with some fresh ideas and bundles of motivation. If you enjoyed this episode, do make sure you click subscribe so you never miss an installment. And if you found this episode useful, I'd love you forever if you leave a 5-star review, helping this podcast reach the ears of more of the helpers in this world. And remember, keep changing lives. See you next time.